Welcome back. It's time for, you guessed it, another episode of A&K in the Afternoon. I'm your host, DJ Andy D.
And I'm Keegan Doyle.
And today, we're going to be talking about a show that just recently came out. Movie, my bad. That recently just came out. Our show's going to be talking about the movie God's Not Dead. So,
God's not dead.
He's surely alive. Yeah, see, we're gonna be singers. We're gonna quit our day job.
Yeah, we are.
I hope you guys can call in, give us some feedback, tell us how awesome we are. That would just be much appreciated. But anyway, this isn't going to turn into an entertainment show. So real quick before we kind of talk about the plot, just go over one of the actors that are in the movie. It kind of makes me happy. Kevin Sorbo plays the professor. The atheist, evil, mean professor that we don't like.
Nobody likes him.
Just kidding. Kevin Sorbo, I don't know if you guys remember the name, but if you're a fan of classic TV and ever watched The Legend of Hercules, you know Kevin Sorbo, his name and his face, as the one and only Hercules. Now, if you're wondering which Hercules show I'm talking about, it's the one that went alongside Xena Warrior Princess. I watched both of those shows as a kid, and they were really cool. But anyway, Keegan, why don't you tell us a little bit about the plot of this movie, huh?
Yeah, God's Not Dead is about a young guy named Josh Wheaton who is a freshman in college. He signs up for a philosophy 101 class in which the teacher, he knows the teacher is, he's been told and warned that the teacher is an atheist and that he's against Christians and stuff. But what this teacher tells him to do is he tells the whole class to write "God is dead" and sign it with their name. And Josh Wheaton, being a strong Christian, tells the teacher, he's like, I can't do this. I can't do what you're wanting. What the teacher does is he tells Josh that the only other option is for Josh to defend why he believes God is alive or why God is real. And so Josh takes up this challenge. He has to speak for 20 minutes for the next 3 class sessions. And he does a pretty good job at it, too.
He does a pretty good job. But keep in mind also, when you're thinking about it, that this professor is a strong,
very strong
atheist. And he's going to make it as hard as possible for Josh to win.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, Keegan, what's your favorite scene from the movie?
Oh, boy, that's a tough decision. But
Newsboys.
The Newsboys were awesome.
Newsboys were cool.
I've always liked the Newsboys. They're really cool. They were in it. They were kind of promoting the movie a lot, and because
sometimes it felt like a commercial for their song "God's Not Dead."
Yeah,
but I like the song.
Yeah, it's a good
Newsboys.
song. And on top of that, Willie and Corey Robertson from Duck Dynasty were in it too. So that made it kind of
everybody in these areas are going to be really
excited. You're going to be excited about that,
Dynasty.
Yeah. Down here in Arkansas.
Arkansas. Keegan, you're going to make people mad.
Hey, I'm from Arkansas, so I can say that, right?
He's got the right to say it. He's from Arkansas.
No, it's called Arkansas, yeah, not Arkansas. I'd be mad if someone said that, too. So anyway, back to what we were talking about. Yeah, it's got Duck Dynasty in it, so that's kind of cool. It has Newsboys. It doesn't got Newsboys. It has Newsboys in it.
Newsboys.
I don't know. So anyway, that's one thing I thought was cool.
You never tell me your favorite scene, Keegan.
Oh, yeah, you told me yours, didn't it? Oh, okay, fine. Let's see. My favorite scene was probably the final debate that Josh has with the professor. It was really intense, and it was also really, really powerful.
I felt like when he was like getting all up in the professor's face, I thought the professor was about to die.
That's what it looked like. that was intense. I'm not gonna lie. That was really
we're
intense.
actually gonna kind of go over the debates here in a little bit. Not go into like complete detail, but we're gonna talk about the dates here, the debates here in a little bit. The dates, yeah. We're gonna go on a date. No, kidding. Okay. My favorite scene is the interaction that it caused the crowd to do. Was at the end. First off, during the Newsboys scene, Willie Robertson comes on a video at the Newsboys concert and says, "Hey, everybody, pull out your phones and text 'God's Not Dead' to everyone in your contacts." And he says there's 10,000 or so of you out there, and if about everybody has, say, 100 or so contacts, then that's about 1 million people that we're spreading the good news to.
Yeah, that was a powerful scene.
And so the thing about that made that awesome is that not only that, they actually put the words up on the screen to do that
Yeah.
for everybody else. And so I was sitting there thinking to myself, and I was like, I don't want to do this. I get those emails all the time. And, you know what those emails I'm talking about. They say, well, if you love God, then send this to like 20 people in the next
like your love for God depends on you
15
sending
seconds,
that.
you know, and I'm just like, I love God, but it doesn't matter whether I send this or not, you know. And, I mean, everybody sends those. I hate sending those, getting those emails. And I was like, something pulled at me to actually send that text message this time. So I did.
Yeah.
I sent the text message to everyone on my phone. And now, I got to point out something. This is hardcore dedication right here. I have to point out something. My phone is not a fancy iPhone or other smartphone, Android, Windows, whatever you want to call it. This little thing, I guess you guys can't see it. I'm actually holding it up to the microphone, pretending that y'all can see it. But
it's not as cool as an iPhone.
Yeah, it's pretty small. I call it the Z phone. That's what I'm going to call it.
Z phone. There you go.
This little thing sends out 10 text messages at a time. Now, if I've got about 150 to 200 contacts on this thing, and I spent the entire way back sending that text message 10 messages at a time because I felt the need to do it. Now, before y'all freak out, Keegan was driving. We went to see the movie together, and I was not driving, so I don't text and drive.
Hey, you remember that joke? Let's see, what was it?
Oh no,
if
Keegan's got a joke on air.
Honk if you love Jesus. Text and drive if you want to meet him today.
What was it? You found that on?
I saw a picture
sign.
of that on a church sign or something like that one time.
I don't know how I feel about that being on a church sign.
That
is really funny. But yeah, keep that in mind while you're listening to this radio program. You are probably driving. Don't text and drive, but maybe after you get home, send that text message out.
There you
Say
go.
God's not dead to all of your contacts. Like, just do that. You don't have to do it twice, I guess, if you see the movie, because people will probably get irritated. You're like, why are you sending messages all the time? But maybe, if you don't go see the movie, then know that it tells you to do that. And so you might want to check that out. Try to send that message, spread the word, get as many people out there to know God's not dead. He's surely alive.
Because even something as simple as that could, completely change someone's life. You never know.
You never know. Actually, I got a bunch of responses that completed the Newsboys lyric was "He's surely alive," but then I got some other responses that I'm not too proud of.
Yeah.
Some friends of mine that are atheists, but they're a work in progress. So we're gonna fix them. Anyway, let's go on and talk about those debates that actually happened in there. Now, see, the first debate, he came in. And it was sounding really good. And what I liked about the debates was the fact that it wasn't just pulling a bunch of stuff from Scripture. He was actually fighting science with science.
Yeah.
And the first debate, it sounded great all the way through. And then the teacher had to pull up a Stephen Hawking quote. And I can't remember the exact quote, but basically what it did was just completely make Josh's argument for the first period just completely null and void. So that made him have to not only continue to defend God, but also he had to come up with a way to defend himself from that argument with the next debate.
Yeah.
So what he does in the next debate is the fact that he is able to pull out another scientist that disagrees with Stephen Hawking.
Yeah.
The professor is all like, well, are you going to tell me you, an inexperienced college kid, is going to disagree with one of the brightest minds? And he's like, no.
Another one of the brightest minds disagrees with one of the brightest minds.
I'm just choosing to agree with that.
Yeah.
Now, what was the quote that he pulled from Stephen Hawking that really made that professor...
Oh, yeah. He quoted Stephen Hawking from one of his books saying, philosophy is dead. And
he's in a philosophy class.
Yeah, so that was a really big slam on the teacher. That the teacher is cheering on Stephen Hawking,
basically saying, "In your face, teacher."
Yeah,
in
basically,
in your face.
Yeah.
and then Keegan's favorite scene, the third debate, just got really intense.
Yeah,
but
it was powerful.
The way that they ended out the debate and the way that they made Josh essentially win was phenomenal, I think. Because he started to question the teacher himself. Like, he pretty much got in the teacher's face and was like yelling at him almost.
Yeah.
And the teacher asked him something along the lines of, why do you hate God? And then
well, the teacher didn't ask him. Josh asked the teacher.
Yeah.
It's okay.
And Josh asked the teacher, why do you hate God?
Why do you hate God? And then the teacher said, it's because he took everything away from me. And then Josh says, well, that's interesting, because how can you hate someone that doesn't exist? Yeah.
Yeah. And so
that basically just completely destroyed the teacher's whole argument.
Like he kind of shut up at this point, didn't really say much. But what it really amounted to, though, was the fact that he wanted the classroom to have the choice to believe and choose whether they thought God exists or was not dead, or however you want to put it. And that's what he did. He said, you can't take this away from everybody else. And so the classroom, like, all got up and said, God's not dead, just everybody. And it was just, triumphant ending. And it was a very good ending with the debates.
Yeah, it was, definitely.
Well, that about concludes our time here at A&K in the afternoon. We're going to talk a little bit about next week's show. Be prepared. This one's going to be big. Very controversial movie right now. It came out last Friday, the 28th, I do believe.
Yeah, I think so. Yep.
It's the film adaptation of Noah. It's supposed to be a big action epic, and we're going to go view it and come back and tell you guys what we think about controversy issues and whatnot, how we think of the movie. So this ought to be a really good show next week, so we hope to see you there. This is A&K in the afternoon. I'm DJ Andy D.
And I'm Keegan Doyle.
We'll see you next time.